Today I'm planning an upcoming unit study, so why don't you join me for the ride? You may have seen my recent video where I shared an overview of the unit study method, and today I am planning an upcoming unit for us here in our homeschool. So that unit's going to be on prehistory. So I figured that I might take you along. I've done nothing other than pull books from the bookshelf and grabbed my trusty unit study overview template, and I thought that we could plan this unit study together. So of course, with any unit study, the first thing we want to do is come up with a topic. And how we do this varies throughout the year. At times, our unit study topics come directly from the kids. Other times they come from something that's sparked interest in all of us, maybe from a documentary or a book we've read. And then at other times, the unit study topic does come directly from me. And so that is today's. You may have also seen a recent video where I unboxed the History Quest program. So we're getting ready to dive in to History Quest. And the first part of History Quest covers prehistory. And so I wanted to expand a little bit more on that and spend a little extra time diving deeper around the topic of prehistory. So we always begin any unit study plan with a topic. Today's topic, prehistory. I'm gonna grab my sheet out so I can start taking notes as we go along. I haven't filled any of it out yet, so I'm gonna do it all here with you. So our topic is prehistory. I've included a section on my planning sheet for goals or any outcomes that I'd like to see from the particular unit studies that we undertake. So I need to sit with that one a little bit more and think about what outcomes or what goals I do want to achieve here with this particular unit on prehistory. From there, I then make the decision as to how we're going to tackle this particular study. Are we going to, as I've got here, just grab a bunch of books, find some documentaries, but not have any real plan and just throw things at the wall and see what comes back at us, or see what things are sparked in us, what questions arise, what rabbit trails we can go down, and those types of things. And we've definitely done unit studies like that in the past, and some of those have been our best unit studies. The other alternative is to have a bit of a plan, to choose a spine. And so for this one, that is what I've done. So we're going to start with the spine of History Quest, or another alternative may be to start with an encyclopedia as the spine and just choose the pages out of the encyclopedia that we want to go with for this prehistory topic. Or I could potentially jump online and look to see what I can find in pre-made programs to use. That depends on where I'm at, how creative I'm feeling, how much time and effort I actually want to spend on a particular unit. Sometimes I love to pull everything together myself. Other times I'm just straight onto Google looking for a pre-done unit because I just need my life to be a lot easier. So with this particular one, we're kind of taking the middle road. We've got our spine, the History Quest, and then I'm just going to add bits and pieces to that as our interest is sparked. So the first thing I do when using a spine is always read, because this particular spine covers all of the early time, so it is only the first couple of chapters that we'll be focusing on with this unit study. So I'll always sit down and read that component of the spine just to make sure that I'm really familiar with what we're doing, where we're going, and what topics will actually be covered in that unit. As I'm reading, if I have any ideas that jump into my mind, I'll jot them down then and there onto my unit study template. And then it's time to hit the bookshelves. So I already knew with this particular unit that I had more than enough books here at home in my own home library. My eldest and I have done a lot of prehistory in the past, so I have spent many years gathering resources, and I have, as you can see, plenty of books to cover the topic. I didn't feel the need to go out and look for any others, either in the library or secondhand bookstores or purchasing new online. So it's time for me to go through the books and decide which ones I think I definitely want to look at, which ones I definitely want to use, and the others I may just display on the shelves and make available for us during our morning basket time time or at other free reading times throughout the day. So I'll quickly take you through this pile. I'm not going to show you inside them, but I will just take you through this pile of books that I do have covering that broad topic of prehistory. We've got A Horrible Histories, The Savage Stone Age, National Geographic's When Fish Got Feet. This is one about the evolution of the human body. Virginia Lee Burton's life story. This is the story of life on Earth from its beginning up to now. This 3 set is great for any of you who love prehistory. We've got Born with a Bang, From Lava to Life, and Mammals Who Morph. Great illustrations in these. I'll quickly show you inside this one. So some beautiful, I think they look like those acrylic pour paintings or watercolor paintings. But these are lovely books, those 3. This one I picked up secondhand, The Dawn of Man, Leap Through Time, The First Humans, Our Family Tree, An Evolution Story, There Once Was a Man Who Painted the Sky. This is the story of a young child who finds some cave paintings. So definitely that's going to be an important part of our prehistory unit. Evolution Revolution. It's a little bit more, I guess, like an encyclopedia. It's not a picture book, anything like that. Might be getting a little bit young for my boy now, but we've certainly got it out in the pile and see how we go with that one. Amazing Evolution, The Journey of Life. What makes a fish? Why do giraffes have such long necks? How can all living things from plants, tigers, mushrooms to dragonflies, octopus and humans be related? So this is The Amazing Journey of Life. And we have The Story of Life, Evolution. This one is a fold out. See if I can get it open for you. Here we go. A fold out journey of evolution. So a lovely pictorial, that one there. So the books that I know from that pile that I definitely want to keep out, I'm just going to jot these down on my overview page so that I don't forget to definitely include them in our daily read aloud time. So I have this other smaller pile on this side of me. These are Charles Darwin books. So whilst this unit isn't really going to focus too much on Charles Darwin or evolution, I have pulled them out and I think I'll just leave them out on display for the kids to have a look through at their leisure. Most of these books we have read, although it's been a little while since we have visited any of these topics, but I'll quickly run through them with you. So we've got Who Was Charles Darwin? Love, love, love these books. They are one of my favourite books for kids of all ages. Animals Charles Darwin Saw. Groundbreakers Charles Darwin. Inside the Beagle. Charles Darwin on the Origin of Species. And Charles Darwin and His Adventures on the Beagle. This is a beautiful book. Let me see if I can get it open. This one's lovely. It's got plenty of, lots of the illustrations, little lift the flaps to look at, pull things out of. This is a lovely, lovely book, this particular one. But yeah, as I said, this particular unit isn't really going to focus too much on Charles Darwin. We may be doing prehistory, but we're not really looking at evolution during this time. But I will pop them out anyway for the kids if they want to spend a bit of time on that as well. What I love the most about having my unit study overview plan is that I don't forget anything. It's very simple. It's a one-page sheet It just keeps me focused on everything that I want to include in our unit study. Stay with me right to the end because I will share with you how you can get your own copy for free towards the end of the video. So from there, the next component of the sheet is to look at documentaries. Now I already know I recently purchased a subscription to CuriosityStream, and I'm pretty certain that they have heaps and heaps of great documentaries all covering prehistory. So I'm just going to have a quick look at what I can find on CuriosityStream. Okay, so there definitely, as I thought, were plenty of documentaries over on CuriosityStream and covering a really broad time span. So I may need to delve a little deeper into a couple of those before we choose what ones to actually watch. Okay, next up, I'm going to take a look at field trips or excursions, depending on where you are in the world and what you call them. This will only be a short unit, so I don't know whether we'll get any time to do field trips, and to be truly honest, the only place that's coming to mind right now is our state museum. It's not the greatest museum on earth, let's put it that way. And so in our local area within a driving distance of a day, there isn't a great deal around us that we can probably go and visit to cover the topic of prehistory. But that's okay, because there's plenty of other units that provide us with great field trip opportunities. And then it's time to consider what hands-on art, craft, cooking, any of those type of activities we're going to include here with the unit. So I already know that History Quest provides us with a couple of those, and one of them is a cave painting activity. Another is replicating rock painting. We're very lucky to have a fire pit, so we will also go into the bush behind us, collect firewood, try and start a fire of our own. So some fire starting, and this particular prehistory unit will take us all the way up to early man and some of the very early practices of bread baking. And so we'll have a go of making our own bread out over the fire. The other thing that I will do at this stage is have a look at my kids' natural history book. I've got several of these. They are fabulous for finding hands-on activities to go with units, and there's a lot of them in the range. Just give you a quick flip through in case you haven't seen them. This one, again, I think is probably a little young, but it covers any natural history topics, and it will give you hands-on art, craft, activity ideas to go along with them. So I will sit and have a quick look through that and see if there's anything else that we can pull out of our kids' natural history book. And if all else fails, I always return to good old Google. So in this instance, I may put Stone Age activities for kids into Google search and see what that brings me in return. Google is my best friend when planning unit studies, that's for sure. Then I have the notes section on my overview planner, and that's really just for anything else that comes to mind as I'm planning. And so here I'm going to pop down a couple of thoughts about what we might do as outcomes. How might we have the children show some learning? I don't really want to set that in stone just right now. I want to be able to be flexible with the unit and see where it takes us, see what interest level is sparked, and then what I think we can probably produce as some kind of demonstration of what we learned. So, but some of the ideas for my kids, seeing that they're a little bit older, are report writing, that standard 5-paragraph essay. We may look at doing an illustrated notebooking page. Of course, there's always copywork, dictation, or narration. Or it could be as simple as an oral overview of the unit. But yes, I do tend to wait until the end of the units just to see how we're feeling. And it also does depend, I guess, on what the main focus of the unit is going to be as to what the goal or the outcome may be at the other end. Okay, so I've got all this together. I've got my plan, I've got all my notes here on my overview page, but how are we bringing this all together? How are we tackling the day-to-day of this particular unit study? It's really quite simple. It doesn't need to be harder than what it actually is. I think at times we can get bogged down in, oh my goodness, how do I lesson plan this? For the most part, with my unit studies, I don't actually lesson plan. Keeping in mind for this one, I have got a spine. So this really is our lesson plan. I do also have the activity guide to go along with this. So it gives me notes. It will actually tell me what they expect should be learning outcomes as well for the book. So that's a great help to get yourself some kind of spine if you feel you struggle with lesson planning. But other than that, I don't actually plan many lessons apart from obviously our hands-on activities, because I need to get the materials and the supplies and set aside a day to make those happen. But really, in a nutshell, we will begin with our spine and we will read the parts in the spine that relate to our unit study. From there, whilst working our way through these, the kids will colour, draw, paint, anything related to the topic that they may wish to do, build with Legos, any of those types of things whilst we're doing our read alouds. At the end of each read aloud, we'll have discussions, we might take some brief notes, we'll put documentaries. As you already know, every morning we start our day with documentary watching. So whilst we're doing this unit, our documentaries will focus around the topic of prehistory. And then of course, we can intersperse our hands-on activities within all of our reading and researching that's going on. So for this particular unit, we're actually going to be doing this with some friends. So we've decided to see how we go working through History Crest with a group of other homeschoolers, and all of our hands-on activities will be done with them. So super excited about that. That should be lots and lots of fun. And as we come to the end of the couple of weeks studying prehistory, we will make a decision then as to what we want to provide as a learning overview to show what was learned. And it's as simple as that. That is our prehistory unit study, all planned and ready to go. All I need to do now is grab all the supplies that we need for our hands-on activities. Okay then, if you would like a copy of my unit study overviews, I've got one without lines, and the one I've been using has lines printed on it. If you would like to get yourself a copy of this, I have made this available completely free in my Facebook group. The Facebook group that you can find these in is YouTube's homeschooling community. The idea behind this Facebook group is to bring all of the wonderful information and sharing that happens in the homeschooling YouTube world with homeschoolers that enjoy watching homeschool YouTube videos. So it is a place where you will find homeschoolers that create YouTube videos and homeschoolers that watch YouTube videos. It's bringing both of us together. And my dream for this community is for it to grow into a homeschool conference every day of the week. Already we have so much amazing information and so many wonderful videos that have been shared in the group, and I will now head on over and add this file as a free download for all of the members of that particular Facebook group. So if you'd like a copy, I will pop a link to that Facebook group down in the description box below. Head on over and join the group, and we will see you all there. So thank you so much for joining me today. I do hope you got some value out of this one, and if you did, please be sure to hit that like button. Any questions you have, as always, leave them down below. And until next time, bye for now.